I had some other adventures in Duc Tan. There was a small Vietnamese staff that worked for the advisory team that I was deployed with. And among them was a young woman, a young Vietnamese woman. And shortly after I arrived, she extended an invitation to me to come and join her family for dinner on Sunday. So, you know, I had been schooled about we should always be polite and accept invitations. This seemed a very gracious thing for an employee to do, so I accepted. And she actually lived not out in the rural area where our team was located, but in by Sadek City. So Sunday, I drove in, found her house, parked my vehicle. I thought, well, there'll be a big group here. There must be like family dinner on Sunday. And I walk in and she's there, but I'm greeted by her brother. And her brother was a interpreter for the South Vietnamese Army, so he spoke English. And he invited me in, and he was there, his sister was there, there were a couple of other servants, so just the three of us, and we sat there. She never sat down. They offered me a drink of some soft drink, and I'm having that. And then I was invited to the table, and it's just me and her brother. And we're sitting across from each other, and she joins in bringing out dishes, and there are 2 or 3 dishes, and we're eating, and it's a nice meal, and I'm eating rice and drinking, I think probably again, some local beer with ice in it. So we get to the end of the meal, and it's sort of late Sunday afternoon, starting, it's twilight, starting to get dark. And he said to me a couple of things at the end, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, we'll see what happens next. Maybe there's another course, another thing. And he said, well, it's very nice having you here today with us. And I said, oh, thank you. I enjoyed being here. I've liked the food, and this has been very nice. And he said, our two countries are friends and united in this common endeavor. And I said, yes, yes, indeed. I represent America, and we're proud to be supporting the South Vietnamese people. And then he said, and you and I, we're friends in this. We've established a nice relationship. And I said, you know, you're absolutely right. I certainly can reciprocate that feeling. We are friends. And then he said to me, would you like to marry my sister? So, talk about having your breath taken away. I didn't anticipate that this would be the next question on the table. I look over out of the corner of my eye, and I see her standing there, a smile on her face, a look of anticipation about what I'm going to say, and I'm in crisis mode. Well, what do I say? What do I do? I look out the window. I say, it's very dark out and the road's dangerous. I have to get going right away. Of course, I was more worried about how to get out of this trap that had been set for me, marriage trap, more than I was worried about any Viet Cong ambushes. And no matter how dangerous the road was, I was determined. I was hopping my vehicle and going to drive at full speed just to get out of there. And so excusing myself, smiling, thanking them as I went out the door. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful, but it's dark and the road's dangerous and I better get going. And that was how I escaped my first marriage proposal in Vietnam.